Have I ever told you that I love Lucio Fulci? I mean, Enigma, The Beyond, Black Cat, Cat in the Brain, Conquest, Contraband, Demonia, Devil's Honey, Don't Torture Duckling, For the Apocalypse, House by the Cemetery, Lizard in the Woman's Skin, Manhattan Baby, Murder Rock, New York Ripper, Sonoma's Ghost, maybe not that one, Touch of Death, Voices from Beyond, Warriors of the Year 2072, Zombie 2, The Curse, Zombie 3, maybe just movies he quit partway through. But what about one on top of the other, aka Perversion Story from 1969? Oh, God, I love this movie.
A shocking, revealing account of what our society is beginning to take for granted, to accept as a way of life. You'll be holding your breath from San Francisco to New York to Paris. A mystery thriller true to our times. You'll be living the truth that once was fiction.
At this point in his career, Fulci was known for his comedies, so the move to the Giallo genre, big shift. Bob had only invented the form 6 years ago, arguably, with the 1-2 punch of The Girl Who Knew Too Much, Blood and Black Lace. Argento's The Bird with Crystal Plumage wouldn't be made until the next year. But Fulci saw Vertigo, and he felt that the script for Perversion Story was one of his best. Unlike many of his later films, this movie has a decent budget with 8 weeks of principal photography, location shooting in San Francisco, Reno, and Sacramento, and a gas chamber sequence shot at the San Quentin State Prison that is all over the posters. Georges Demure, Jean Sorel, is a protagonist, a wealthy doctor who runs a clinic with his younger brother Henry, Alberto de Mendoza. He's leading a double life, though. He's caring for his asthma-stricken wife Susan, Marisa Mell, just as gorgeous here as ever, the ultimate Fulci girl. She nearly lost her eye in a 1963 auto accident. That's why she has that curl over her upper lip. That's the only evidence of the damage. While also having an affair with Jane, Elsa Martinelli. George and Jane go to Reno for a minute getaway, while Susan remains in the care of her sister Marta, Faith Demergue, and a nurse. Jane confesses that while she loves our hero, she doesn't see any future. It was amazing seeing here as we watch the lovers from under the bed. Fulci shoots it as if the camera is below them, and we've caught the space between reality and dream, true life and forbidden passions. When they arrive at a casino, George has a message waiting from his brother. I love when people get calls in restaurants and public places and movies of the past because no one has cell phones. It is the height of sophistication when someone brings a phone to your table and says, "You have a call."
Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
But anyways, I digress. Returning home, George meets the disapproving gaze of Marta, believes that he has behind her sister's death, because he's going to get $1 million in life insurance, money he desperately needs. That said, an insurance agent has been following George and Jane and informs Wald John Ireland of his findings. In the middle of all this scandal, George and Jane get an anonymous tip that leads them to the Roaring 20 strip club, where they meet Monica, an exotic dancer who looks exactly like Susan, shades of Vertigo, fed through Italian sleaze. Of course, Monica and George begin an affair that may start with him seeking answers, but ends with him being seduced. Fulci masterfully frames these scenes with Monica Susan in positions of submission, while obviously being the one in control of every single action. For someone to contribute to some of the scene's most stomach-churning excesses later in his career, this sequence is an exercise in beauty, and holy cow, when you reveal Marisa Mell in this club in this motorcycle outfit, it is insane. Like, nobody has looked better in the history of mankind nearly at this point than Marisa Mell. Incredible. What's striking is on the surface, the film seems like it's going to be pure exploitation. You know, even in moments when we first see Monica at the strip club, she's the only girl clothed, and she appears on a motorcycle at the time. At the time, the very symbol of male independence, she masters and dominates it. She's in complete control of everything. She owns the room, every man and woman in it. It's not sleaze. It's actually Hitchcockian movie. The police arrest Monica. Due process be damned in late 60s Giallo. She informs them that she's an in-demand call girl who is hired to pose as Susan by a woman she only knows as Betty. Fulci again stages an incredible-looking scene here as the police begin testing the evidence and autopsy as the screen fills with no less than 5 different frames, all containing splashes of color and movement. A look that I haven't really seen since Ang Lee did it in his version of the Hulk. That everybody hated it. I loved it. Again, a rare example of constraint by Fulci here is we don't see the corpse or gore, we just see a hint of it. A man named Benjamin comes to bail out Monica as he is one of her clients. However, when he arrives at the station, he learns that her expensive bail has already been arranged by someone the police will not reveal. There's a great interrogation scene here where Jane conducts a sexually charged photo shoot with Monica, all to learn why his life has been turned upside down. They need to know who was his wife's nurse, Elizabeth O'Neill. Where is she now? It sets up everything we expect from Girl on Girl seduction. Yeah, it's all in service of advancing the plot. Something unusual in the genre. As the police search Monica's apartment, they discover an envelope filled with money and marked with George's fingerprints. While the femme fatale goes missing, George is arrested, tried, and convicted for his wife's murder. On the eve of the execution, Henry visits and spills the plot to him. Monica is Susan. They faked her death to get the money and leave him to pay for the crime, with the dead body being her missing nurse. Of course, we already know this, thanks to a scene where we see Monica shedding her blonde tresses and contact lenses in an airport bathroom, transforming herself into the woman she's always been, Susan. There's even a POV shot that puts the viewer directly in the role of the customs officer as he reveals her passport. As Henry leaves his brother rot, George tries in vain to get anyone to listen. The only person left who believes him is Jane. We follow him from the cell to the gas chamber. It looks like there'll be no last-minute reprieve. Or will there be, as the film intercuts to Henry and Susan's romantic reunion and George being prepped for the gas chamber? The answer reveals itself. Hold on. But keep your eyes open, because Bobby Rhodes from Demons. Something's wrong with Rosemary. He is a prison guard. Truthfully, George is out of control and powerless, and the entire running crime is a result of his actions. Even the ending is out of his control. We hear the end of the story from a reporter, and none of the film's heroic figures have anything to do with it. It's the film's most pathetic character that actually closes off the tale. This doesn't have the trademarks of the Giallo, multiple on-camera murders, POV shots of mayhem, black love killers, but don't let that keep you from watching. I can sum this movie up in one word: gorgeous. You can really feel the spirit of the late 60s and pop art in every single frame, making this look and feel unlike anything else Fulci would do. Instead of splatter and dread, you get longing gazes at Marisa Mell. Trust me, it's not a bad trade-off. Throw in a jazz score by Riz Ortolandi, and you have the complete package. This was released by Mondo Macabre a few years back. It's definitely worth hunting it down and grabbing it. It looks incredible, and it is incredible. It became one of my favorite Fulci movies. Hopefully it does yours too. Perversion Story, or one on top of another, from 1969. This is BNS About Movies. I am Sam. Thank you for listening to another episode.